All right, everybody, welcome to the second annual Kurdish Professionals Conference being held here in Nashville, Tennessee. Today we have a great agenda of great learning, networking, great educational programs, and most importantly, great food. Because I know pretty much everybody here is here for the awesome food that we're going to have this afternoon. So what I want to encourage all the students that are in the room while they're here today to get uncomfortable. You would be really, really surprised what you're capable of when you're able to get uncomfortable and get out of your comfort zone. Network, look at all the professionals that are in the room today. You'd be surprised of all the different professions that are here within us in the Kurdish community here in Nashville. So that's my challenge to you all is get uncomfortable. Because personally, that's what helped me. I got uncomfortable, and when I got out of my comfort zone, I was able to do a lot of things that I'm able to do today. And then we also have a special statement from Tennessee Representative John Cooper. Unfortunately, he was not able to attend the conference with us due to prior arrangements, but we have a special statement from him. Dear Kurdish Professional Conference attendees, welcome to the second annual Kurdish Professionals Conference, the building of a professional. It is an honor to have you gather here in Nashville. The Kurdish community here is just awesome. Many people don't realize that Nashville boasts the largest Kurdish community in the United States. I am proud of you and what you have done for our community, and I am honored to represent you in Congress. Like most Americans, I am appalled at this administration's betrayal of Kurdish allies in the Middle East. The senseless foreign policy decision is going to have repercussions for years to come, and our Kurdish friends do not deserve it. I will continue working hard to protect our allies and their families. I am also pleased to announce that a member of the Nashville Kurdish community will be an intern in my congressional office this spring. I know she will do an awesome job, and I encourage other students from the community to apply too. Thank you to all of your commitment to improving our community and our world. We are so glad you are here as part of Nashville's community. Sincerely, Representative Jim Cooper. Now, please welcome the president of the Kurdish Professionals Organization, Dr. Zaid Briefkani, for a short statement.
So, good afternoon and welcome to the second annual Kurdish Professionals Conference. I want to extend a special welcome to our guests who have traveled from outside Tennessee to be with us today. So thank you. Also, a warm welcome for our sponsors who continue to stand with us in our projects. You truly warm our hearts with support, dedication every time we hold an event. So we really appreciate it. This year's conference will be the first of a series of 3 conferences to lay the foundations for the building of a professional individual to be the backbone of a professional family, which in turn will be a building block for the creation of a professional society. In an evolving world where human priorities are often changed and reset based on negative surrounding events, and in a world where suffering, injustice, and missed opportunities often define the stories of the lives of the millions, we need to strive to create a new reality where we can write our own stories. Each one of us has an opportunity to write a story in our lives. And for us to be successful in this story, we must equip ourselves with enough resources to allow us to write this story of professional success. 3 years ago, on a cold November day, we held our first Kurdish professionals meeting at a local coffee shop near downtown Nashville. And that was the beginning of our story as a group and organization. Since then, we have been writing new chapters of this professional history with every event that we have held, with every member that joins, and with every supporter that we have gained and continue to gain. You see, part of being successful is being able to change the narrative and to reverse a story based on negative pictures, whether a real story or a perceived story. And when we started this project of the Kurdish professionals, we were told tales and tales of how this community is indifferent, how the youth don't care, and how the local businesses would not support, and other stories that we continue to hear at the beginning. Well, I'm here to tell you that that narrative has been reversed. Our community is here today. Yeah. Our youth is leading. And if you want proof of that, I will tell you our most recent graduation picnic was managed and run by 2 first-year college students who had just been recognized at our previous graduation picnic less than a year prior. And they did an amazing job. So let's recognize that. And if you want another example of youth leadership, we will stay in this room, and I will tell you that the organizing committee for this conference consists of a high school senior, an undergraduate student, and with leadership of one of our young Kurdish professional leaders, and we are very proud of that. Last year, we were knocking on the doors of businesses and households in Nashville, asking them to support our conference, and they all responded. But you know what? This year, we didn't have to reach out to them. They reached out to us because they believe in this message, because they believe in this vision. And that speaks a lot of their dedication to excellence in our community, and that has established in our minds how dedicated and how committed our local businesses are. So let's recognize them as well. So I'm proud to announce that we have 21 sponsors for our conference this year, and we will continue to get more and more support. We are transforming the way we define professionalism to go beyond a degree, a business, wealth, or personal achievement. As professionals, we want to strive to constantly make ourselves better and to then lend a hand to help others achieve their goals in life. That's why we believe in transparency, in mentorship, in leadership development, and outreach beyond the shells of racial, national, and socioeconomic barriers. We want to build a generation that is proud to serve humanity, protect the environment, stand up for justice, and overall quality of human life wherever and whenever. So I invite all of you to join us to continue to build a generation of professionals who will shape the future of our community. I also invite all of us to open our eyes, our hearts, and our minds to the needs of humanity as one entity, beyond all limitations of color, race, wealth, and socioeconomic status. Let's be one heart beating together for human prosperity, justice, and equal opportunities for success. Thank you.
Now, please welcome the Kurdish Professionals Leadership Team, Dr. Zaid Briefkani, the President, up to the stage, please. Mr. Gharib Silvani, the Vice President. Shadistan Rashid, Secretary. Karzan Muhammad Ali, Treasurer. And I'm kind of biased when I say this, but Dilwan Yassin is probably the hardest working person in the Kurdish professionals. If you guys have not seen what she is doing for the community, there's nothing that she is actually not doing for the community. Please give her a round of applause. So we're gonna have a Q&A session because there is a lot of confusion on who the Kurdish professionals are. The first question I'm gonna ask, Dr. Zaybir, what made you begin the Kurdish professionals?
I have a feeling you're gonna target me a lot tonight, but that's fine. So, before I start answering that question, I just want to emphasize one thing as we talk about the Kurdish professionals and our programs and the people that have been involved. And I just want to emphasize that I look at the Kurdish professionals as a project that belongs to all our youth, to all our community. So I don't like for any of us to take a personal credits for starting the Kurdish professionals. It may have been a couple of us that put this idea into reality, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people in our community had been talking and discussing and thinking about this idea. So it is difficult to say who actually started the Kurdish professionals, but the easiest way to say is the Kurdish professionals is a project that belongs to our own community. But what started our discussion initially, and this was about 6 months prior to our first meeting that I mentioned in my talk earlier. There were a lot of requests and there was a lot of discussion on social media from students and graduates about lack of a platform for our graduates, for our professionals to get together to discuss, our thoughts in the field, to help each other with networking, to find out who else in the community is a doctor, an engineer, who is studying to be a pharmacist, who is a teacher, who is in IT, and who is in a business, so an accounting, and so on and so forth. So that's how the discussion started. And over about a period of 6 months, that discussion accelerated to where we had people in Nashville and then throughout the United States, North America, and even back to Kurdistan. People started posting their profile, basically saying, my name is this, and I'm attending this university, this is my line of work, this is what I'm working. That's what opened our eyes, and we realized how much of this hidden talent was actually in our backyard and front yard. So that's where we said, well, why don't we try to get together when we have all these people, So that's how we started this discussion online, and then it transitioned into our first meeting. Mainly started as an idea for networking, but hey, the project went too fast, and we started sprinting and running fast for it, and we're very proud to be part of it as just members of this project. So that's how it started.
Perfect. Whichever one of you guys wants to answer this question, where do you guys see yourself in the community? Is this something that you're seeing just for Little Kurdistan, which is Nashville's community, or something worldwide?
So just want to thank everybody for coming out today. We really appreciate it. It means a lot to everybody around you, and also especially to us up here and the organizing committee. But we've had a lot of people that have reached out to us and have wanted to start a Kurdish professionals type model in their own community. And us being the largest population of Nashville Kurds, we felt if we were able to develop a model here that was self-sufficient and that was able to get everybody involved and really got the whole community excited about it, then at that point we'd be able to reach out to other communities and give them our idea of, hey, this is what we've done, this is what we've had success with. We've limited ourselves as far as giving the people the go-ahead because we're not perfect ourselves as we are right now. We're still getting better. We'll get feedback from all the events we do. We get anonymous questions all the time. So until we fine-tune the model we have here in Nashville, then and only then we will be comfortable spreading out into other communities. Even back home in Kurdistan, they've been reaching out to us and wanting to start something. We actually have a similar organization in Boston, Massachusetts right now that's self-sufficient. We have a chapter that's opened up at MTSU. So slowly but surely, we're able to spread our model into other communities. But the goal overall would be to have this type of organization. Doesn't, maybe it's not necessarily called the Kurdish Professionals. We'll give the communities, the power to make it their own. But at the same time, we want to make sure we have a good benchmark for them to go off of. And then after that, we'll feel like we've done our part, and then we'll be able to hand it over to other people.
Wonderful. As a Nashville resident, as a Nashville Kurd, I'm in high school. I'm a parent of a high school student. What do they expect out of a Kurdish professionals organization?
Equal opportunities.
So I would say that personally my journey started in high school. That is where I decided pharmacy school is the answer for me. So from my personal journey, high school was the experience that started it. So I think we are equally as passionate about uplifting our high school population, just as well as all of the professionals that are sitting in this room. I think it's very important to start with high school students because you're at that stage where there's a lot of pressure coming from all sides, where you might not know what you want to major in, you might not know if you even want to go to college. So having a community of folks that have taken that step before you, there to help you along the way. I know that Dinman has done an excellent job in going to Overton. I've gone with her a couple of times as well. We've fostered a relationship with the high school students there where they know if they can come into that classroom, any questions that they have, any guidance that they need, that we'll be there to assist them. We've done CB workshops with them. We've had professionals go in and kind of tell them about their journey, and I've had students ask me about opportunities that they have in specific fields where I don't know of any professionals that are currently in that field, but that it would be amazing if we could get their foot in that door. So it's a really vulnerable stage in their lives because they're still figuring themselves out. So I think the high school population is a very important part of what Kurdish Professionals stands for.
Wonderful. Well, how many chapters do you all have in certain either high schools or colleges around the Middle Tennessee area?
So echoing what my colleagues have said before, we've started with a chapter at MTSU, which is student run. And we also have a working chapter at Overton, which also is balanced between us going in there and hosting events and the students kind of supporting, and HumeFog as well. So we've got three segments of our organization that are up and coming. We're still learning, as said before, but we've got a bright future ahead.
Awesome. The next question is actually from our audience. Where does someone start with helping Kurdish professionals and being part of it?
That's a really good question. I think with today's age, I know everybody's on social media. Our social media page has reached close to 10,000 people all over the world. And so if you want to contribute in any way, I think just being interactive on our social media is really important. Commenting, answering questions, posting, sharing, all that. I think it's really important to get the message across. And then also just asking us questions. If you don't, particularly know me or anybody else within the group, we're all really open to answering any questions that anybody has. We're on Twitter at Kurdish Pros, and then we're also on Facebook. I know different people use different social media platforms. But yeah, just always ask questions, engage. I think those are some of the most important things that you can do. No question is a bad question when it comes to social media. I manage the social media pages, so if you send a question, I promise I won't judge you. To me, there's no such thing as a stupid question.
What is an area do you guys think that Kurdish professionals need help in? And how can people get involved?
Put it next to you.
So Kurdish professionals, it's not just one entity, a single entity. Kurdish professionals was started by a few bright brains. We came together to bring and serve the community. So I want to say, before I answer the question real quick, Kurdish professionals is bigger than anybody up here. We can't do what we do without you guys, the community, these sponsors. Nobody gets paid to do anything. It's all volunteer work. And I urge every single one of you to come and help us out. Help us out by volunteering, by mentoring, by sponsoring, by reaching out. Spread the word on social media. We have, with Diman's help, almost 10,000 followers all over the world. We want to get our point across. and it's here to help everybody. So if there was one thing I think we needed help with, was more involvement, more interaction. And from all walks of life, a lot of people mistake Kurdish professionals for being the lawyer, for being the doctor, for being the judge. It's not. You know, there are different variety of professionals amongst ourselves. A lot of entrepreneurs. There's street. You know, the people are street smart. There's different types of education. So because you are not a doctor, because you're not an engineer, because you're not a lawyer, does not mean you cannot come and help us. We need help with everything because every brain is different. And everybody brings a lot to the table, so we want to see what you bring to the table.
I just need to add just one more point.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we don't miss this opportunity. I just wanted to emphasize one point that I have noticed since the beginning, which I feel as one of the members of the Kurdish professionals, as one of the challenges for us in the community. Some people look at us as like a group of elitist people, like we are like above others, like we are here just to talk about degrees or talk about business. This is not what we are about. We are about education. We are about developing our community. We are about change and improvement, but it's not only linked to one line of work, as Gharib mentioned. It's also not about one person or another. So we are having, and since the questions are coming to us as frank questions, I also want to make a frank plea to all of you and to the whole community, is that give us a chance to sell our ideas to you. Give us a chance to show you what we are about. We are not. And I think we have done a very good job so far proving that we are not politically affiliated, we're not religiously affiliated. We have been able to resist all these other forces that would pull typical organizations to one side. For us, what we need is to have, for the community to give us more access, give us a chance, attend our events, and put your trust in us, especially the parents. The parents must be involved in this process because these are one of the main targets for us as students, and the parents, we would like for these parents to be involved. So I feel like sometimes we're having a difficulty getting to all parts of the community because students would think that we are the elitists, so they don't have anything to do with us. And then the people who are already graduated and working, they think, well, they are only for students, and then we are left in the middle with nobody to talk to, like in our party. So I think, we just need, I really think, just deal with us as human beings, as members of the community. Don't look at us as a doctor, as an engineer, and we try our best to dress up in certain ways that we can appeal to everyone. But there's only so much we can do. The trust has to be from both sides. So I really want everyone to give us an opportunity, participate in our events and volunteer, as was mentioned earlier, and you will find a lot of opportunities doors of opportunity that will open.
Wonderful. The next question is also from the audience. What is your current process for mentorship? If somebody needed a mentor or wanted to be a mentee in the community, who should they reach out to?
So I'm directly involved in the mentorship program, and I will say one thing. I'm going to go ahead and admit that we have not done as much as we should have since last year, and that's not because of lack of effort. It's just because we are growing so fast and we're trying to keep up with everything. But I promise we're working on it. We're improving. One of our main focuses is mentorship program. We have a mentorship program called Project Future. It's on our website. This is where we have potential mentors and mentees. Sign up the application, indicate the areas of interest, the areas of future line of work that you want, and then what areas of help that you need. You need somebody to approach you with. And on the other side, we have the mentors who say, hey, this is what I'm working with, this is my, and we have a database for that where it tells us city-wise where they're from, which school, so we can connect the students with the professionals to help them. I'm working with a couple of mentors right now, and the goal is not to just necessarily make them doctor it, sometimes to help them that maybe doctor is not what's right for you based on what your interests are. So it's not just what you accomplish, it's how you accomplish it, and also create opportunities for placement after they finish graduate. So somebody made a comment, anonymous comment to me a couple of weeks ago through someone else and said, hey, I really want to be part of this, but I feel like you guys have not created any jobs for people. Well, we don't have the means to create. We're not a company, but we have connections, we have networking, we know people that if we know you enough, interact with you, we can connect you with someone that can help you with a job. So if you go to our website, fill out the application, you will find a lot of information, and that's what we are constantly working to improve.
Wonderful. So with Nashville's community being so diverse, if I'm not a Kurd, how do I get involved in Kurdish professionals?
Yeah, I think our organization is not specific. I mean, we are Kurdish professionals, but our topics of discussion and our goals and our vision and mission kind of apply to really anybody. Anybody that's in a position to where they want to further their career or they want to advance their academic progress. Navigating that through our social media accounts, through our email, just communicating with us, asking us questions, I think is really the best way to communicate in any aspect.
And the final question. So Kurdish professionals, in 2024, as we're having this, it'll be the 6th annual Kurdish Professionals Conference, and we're sitting at this table. Where do you guys see this organization being?
Well, firstly, being that this is called Little Kurdistan, hopefully next year, but in 2024, I want to see every single seat in here be filled. And maybe this venue may even be too small for us. Another thing, piggybacking off what Zaid said, maybe by creating jobs, we're going to have companies, we're going to have networks with companies all over the country, especially here in Nashville, so that we can put people in the right place. I was, yesterday I ran into a guy, I was passing out flyers for people to come and register. So one guy, he said, how do I benefit from this? He said, I just came here from Kurdistan, I'm a civil engineer, but I am nothing when I came here. What benefit will I get by coming to Kurdish Professionals Conference? I said, well, we have a networking session. I said, we have a lot of people who have gone through the same thing that you have. Come and talk to people. We'll pair you up with somebody who has been in the same situation. They can show you the way. I'm not going to promise you a job because that's not what we do. But I'm going to promise you, you will talk to somebody who has been in the same shoes as you are so they can pave the way for you. Okay? Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I want to add something to that as well. So as we're all talking, it's mostly been all related to, education and, career advice, mentorship and all that. But we've kind of already started it, but in 2024, I want it to be community all-inclusive. A small example of that is we have, sporting events that we have that bring all of the youth together. And being involved in those, it's really nice to see that people are coming together. It doesn't have to be a wedding where, all these guys get together. It doesn't have to be, anything special, but getting everybody in one area and everybody being Kurdish and having the Kurdish professionals out there supporting these community activities, I think is something that we'll end up seeing more and more. We've previously, had a bonfire, we've had a food drive. So one thing I want to make, clear to everybody, yes, we strive for, academic excellence, professional excellence and all, but at the same time, we're very much interested and we're very much wanting to be invested in community activities that don't necessarily fall in those categories.
During this next opportunity, there's a group that recently have been putting in lots of time, volunteering their time for a great cause. As we may all know, what's happening in Rojava is very unfortunate. And as our House of Representative person did state in that statement earlier, it's unfortunate what the processes of happening over there is going on. I want to take this opportunity to recognize Nechir Zebari and Miskal Ali. They're under their leadership by getting the group of Jiani Suleiman, Sharmi Numan, Pawan Numan, and Silav Ibrahim. Can we come on guys, come up here. guys have been putting in countless hours of taking donations for refugees that had to escape the unfortunate circumstances of Rojava and that they're in southern Kurdistan right now. Please give these guys a very big round of applause.